The Houston Astros have moved on to the west coast of Florida, where they open a three-game set with the struggling Tampa Bay Rays, who have dropped 11 of 12. Colin McHugh gets the opener against tough righty Erasmo Ramirez. Hi, everybody. Alan Ashby and Jeff Blum with you. The Astros coming out of Cleveland. That was a rough series, losing 3 out of 4. And I think primarily because the bats really struggled. What do you do as a team right now? 3 games to the All-Star break. How do you make the best of this trip?
Well, I think right now they see the light at the end of the tunnel. I know the tunnel isn't until the end of the season, but for right now they have a 4-day break coming up. Right now they throw everything they've got out there, take some good hacks, good ABs, and hopefully this thing finishes off well going into the All-Star break.
Tonight is game 89 for the Astros. So through 88, it is a whole lot better this year, and that should serve as something real positive for the team.
Well, I think it's a nice reminder, even though things have been tough here, especially with that stretch in Cleveland, that it has been much worse. 13 games better than they were last year at this time. These guys are playing well. They shored up the bullpen. They are still pitching quite well, even though the offense is kind of stymied a little bit here of late. But you got to love the fact the way the Astros go out there and play hard each and every day under A.J. Hinch. And I still love the fact that they have the potential to shock anybody late in games with that home run power.
Colin McHugh goes to the mound tonight. Tough assignment against a hot pitcher for the Rays. But Colin has been up to the task most of the time.
Yeah, he has. It was a good look back to that Seattle game that he had where he set his career high with 12 strikeouts. We know he has to have that good fastball. Control has been an issue for him early, and if he gets touched up early, he usually settles down. But you'd like to see him get off to a fast start, locating the fastball, enabling him to get to the off-speed pitches.
The one thing that kept the Rays in the race for a good chunk of the season has been their pitching. Erasmo Ramirez since May has been fantastic.
And a little Seattle connection. Last time the Astros saw Erasmo, he was in his Mariner uniform, so hopefully that brings back some of the pounding that they put on him in that Mariner uniform. But he has been pitching extremely well. Numbers since May 30th are off the charts. 5 and 1s, 1.18 ERA. Does a great job. Fastball, changeup, curveball command.
Coming up, we race towards the All-Star break with the Astros clinging to a lead in that American League West race. Can they finally break out the bats in Tampa and head to the break on a high note? We'll have all the action from the Trop in just minutes. presented by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare right now at southwest.com. And brought to you by HEB. No store does more than my HEB. Coming up, Tampa native Preston Tucker has sparked the Astros offense this season and comes back to the Sunshine State playing the best baseball of his young career. Julia has more on the rookie and his triumphant homecoming when we return.
First of three between the Houston Astros and the Tampa Bay Rays, and it's a homecoming for sorts. There's a lot of Astros fans here at Tropicana Field, mostly to see two guys, though, as my friends here join me for this hit. Lance McCullers from the Tampa area, also Preston Tucker, who's been a big part of this team so far this year since he's been called up, changing up the lineup a little bit and has had some great games recently, but we take you back so we can get to know Preston Tucker a little bit more since he is in his hometown. That was his first home run in the majors, a pinch hit home run against Detroit, helped them tie the game up in the ninth. But you see there, Houston Methodist helping us get to know Tucker, a graduate of Plant High School. I'm told that's about 20 miles from here at Tropicana Field, so not real far from where he played. And then, of course, went on to the University of Florida, 2009 to 2012. Second all-time at Florida with 57 home runs. Hey, and Preston Tucker has a little brother, Kyle Tucker, who also played at Plant High School. The Astros just drafted him in this year's draft, 5th overall pick. He is playing rookie ball for the Astros in the Gulf Coast League, was in Tampa playing the Yankees rookie team here today. So the family is here for Preston Tucker, also for Lance McCullers. But we've seen big things from Preston Tucker's bat, and they're hoping to see more today, guys, as they look to get this offense rolling, especially after a tough couple of days in Cleveland. Up to you, Ashton Blemmer.
Thanks a lot, Julia. And yeah, I think the Astros daily look for big things from Preston Tucker. They would love to get George Springer back very soon. This ball club really ignites when George is around, and you can see that energy in the dugout never hurts a bit, even when he's injured. Blummer, it's an offense that, we talked about it, has been pretty darn cold lately, and they're looking for Carlos Correa and others to get hot and find a way to score some runs.
They just run into tough pitching for me. Been a tough go. Boston got the best of them. Now they went through Cleveland. The pitching got the best of them there. They scored 9 runs in that first game, proceeded to score 3 in the next 3 games. So looking to get that offense going, because that'll back up some of that pitching.
And now the starting lineup for the Houston Astros, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Top spot, Jose Altuve, just under the 300 mark. There's Preston Tucker batting second. He's in right field. And then the shortstop, Carlos Correa. Luis Valbuena in the 4 spot. The DH, Evan Gattis Still hammering away. Colby Rasmus bats 6th. 7-hitter Chris Carter. In the 8th spot, Jason Castro and Jake Marisnick bats 9th.
Erasmo Ramirez going for the Tampa Bay Rays.
First pitch of the night, ground ball up the middle. Jose Altuve on one pitch has himself a knock and a nice bright start now for the Astros.
That's the way you got to welcome him. He's going to try and get ahead early with that fastball, aggressive in the zone. 2 seams it. Means he'll run it in there with that sinker. Those last couple starts getting extremely good. As a starter, only a .217 opponent batting average against. But he's really working with 3 pitches. That fastball aggressive early allows him to get to that changeup, which is a great pitch against left-handed hitters. Also has a slider and curveball.
Jose Altuve aboard. Leads the team and the league in stolen bases. I imagine a lot of people think to themselves, Jose Altuve, he swings at the first pitch way too much. Prior to that base hit, Altuve this year on the first pitch is hitting .373.
Keep swinging it.
Tucker takes a strike on the outside black.
I would imagine that anybody says that Altuve swings at the first pitch too much is not an Astro fan, because Astro fans have been seeing it for the last 4 years, and it's worked out quite well.
And you can look around Major League Baseball. I mean, the first pitch is where most guys do their damage. But Jose tends to be a free swinger, tends to swing at a lot of those first pitches, and I think people remember the outs maybe more so than the hits. A little peek earlier today with the hometown boys.
Lance McCullers on the left, Preston Tucker on the right. Getting their ticket allotment taken care of. It's always good playing in your hometowns.
Nice to come home. 2-2 now on Preston Tucker.
Especially nice when you're swinging a good bat, too. Even though the offense was having issues, Preston Tucker was one of the few Astros that wasn't there in Cleveland.
Mentioned the league leading total of stolen bases for Altuve. He has 25. And now goes with that pitch in the dirt. The throw down to second. And they got him. Bang, bang at the bag. But a good alert throw by Rivera. That's not a caught stealing.
Yeah, as a base runner, you anticipate ball in the dirt. Altuve saw the ball in the dirt. Just a great job of picking it. Not too often you see a catcher able to block it and catch it at the same time.
Well, you try to be aggressive early in a ball game, take advantage with a pitch in the dirt. You've got the speed aboard, and then that happens. And now you're left with a 3-2 count on Preston Tucker. The shift is on Preston. And he fouls one back. Tucker's not getting cheated a whole lot. He's getting a lot of good swings. And it has translated well on this road trip. Drills one on the ground, but there's the first baseman Loney, and the second out of the inning. 2 down, bases empty for Carlos Correa.
Here at the Trop, this is what Kevin Cash is going to go with. David DeJesus out there in left field, Kevin Kiermaier in center field, Brandon Guyer in right, Evan Longoria, of course, at third base, has Drupal Cabrera at short, Logan Forsythe at second base, James Loney at first base, Rene Rivera doing the catching.
Carlos Correa is coming off a cold 4-game series in Cleveland. Went 1 for 16. That one hit coming in last night's game. Picked up 4 strikeouts in that series. And saw the Indian staff basically, for the good part, pitch him hard in. And you see it right there with the ground ball to the left side. Longoria with the play. And only 3 hitters come to the plate in the first inning despite that leadoff single by Altuve. The Rays coming to bat here in the first inning. And for Tampa Bay, that lineup tonight will feature John Jaso as the DH tonight. He leads it off, followed by David DeJesus in left field. And the three-hitter, Evan Longoria, the third baseman. Middle three, first baseman James Loney, second baseman Logan Forsythe, and the shortstop Asdrubal Cabrera. And the bottom three, Brandon Geyer, he's in right. In center field, Kevin Kiermaier, and doing the catching, Rene Rivera.
On the mound for your Houston Astros, Colin McHugh. 18th start of the season, got roughed up last time he was out there in Boston. We only went 5 1/3, throwing 104 pitches. The interesting line on that was walked 3 guys, only struck out 1. Numbers a little bit backwards. We saw Colin scuffling with control, fell behind. A lot of hitters counts for those Boston Red Sox.
First pitch, a fastball at 89. I think some of the times with Colin, we have seen games where the fastball hasn't quite been up to, and we showed it on the open today. That first game in Seattle last year when a fastball was probably more in the 92, 93 range. It's hard to maintain throughout the course of a long season. Colin had won 3 straight prior to that last game loss at Boston. Hit in the air and deep to center field, going back. Marisnick at the track just in front of the wall hauls it in. A long out off the bat of John Jaso.
Ball was struck well, but Jake Marisnick patrolling center field again makes the play. Colby Rasmussen left, Preston Tucker in right. Luis Valbuena again out there at third base. Carlos Correa and Altuve at the middle. Chris Carter at first base, and Jason Castro back behind home plate, trying to get Colin McHugh straight.
Tropicana Field here in Tampa Bay. It looks like a small ballpark, but it plays like a pitcher's park. It's only 370 to the gaps. Down the left field side is at 315, and down the right side 322. You hit it from the gap to gap area. It's a big ballpark. Breaking ball for a strike. It's 0-2 quickly on David DeJesus. Veteran left-hand hitting outfielder. The 9 wins for Colin McHugh, tied for 4th best in the American League. And the Astros have gone 11-6 in his 17 starts. High cheese blown by at 91. First strikeout of the night for Colin. It'll bring up Evan Longoria.
Oh, that's a good sign early. Still not afraid to go to that upper part of the strike zone to get the strikeout. Still enough on it to get the strikeout, too. Doing better against left-handers. 2012, 2013 for me, for Colin McHugh, just a complete wash. I think the guy we're starting to see these days is who he is. Last year did a great job, but he worked in that cutter, getting in on the hands of left-handed hitters, got him off the plate a little bit.
Colin McHugh teamed up with Dallas Keuchel. The two have combined to go 20-7 this year. 2-0 the count on Longoria. 9 home runs on the year for the Rays third baseman. He's hitting .281. Go back 3-4 years ago, a lot of people felt there was no better third baseman than Longoria in the game. Just outside. 3-0 the count. Colin McHugh has gone 8 innings in 2 of his last 3 starts. Slider finds the strike zone. 3-1. In fact, went 8 innings in back-to-back starts for the first time in his career. That against the Angels and the Yankees. 2-out walk to Longoria. He's aboard for the cleanup man, James Loney.
I wonder if that AB right there is any indication on how the Astros are going to handle Evan Longoria in this lineup. Yes, Loney is a very good hitter, hits for a high average usually, but the power is really just not there for James Loney. So if you're going to pick your poison, you might want to put Longoria on, avoid the home run, and see what you can do with James Loney.
Loney's done well against the Astros on his career. .314 batting average with 4 long balls.
Well, you know why.
Why is that?
He's another Houston native.
There you go. Ground ball through that shift into right field, right through the regular second base position. So a walk and a single, and the Rays have runners at the corners with 2 outs for the second baseman Logan Forsythe.
You sound like I feel.
Thanks.
It's all right. It happens to the best of us.
Wish I felt like you look.
Yeah, appearances and everything. Take a look at our strike zone presented by MD Anderson. See the location on this. Good fastball away. He was right after his target. Just managed to find a hole.
Yeah, that Houston connection has had some big sway against the Astros.
It's crazy how that works out.
Chris Young has just been dynamite. Logan Forsythe hitting .277. Good slider at the knees. Forsythe right at 300 at bats on his season. Maybe the cutter there right through the heart of the plate. So the count at 0-2.
Yeah, it's kind of bordering on that cutter slider velocity, but there is that definite break where it's going away from right-handed hitters.
It's such a large break a lot of the time that it doesn't feel to me like what I would call a cutter, but
no,
again,
I agree.
Terminology goes all over the place with guys. It's a bigger breaking ball, probably the curveball at 73. 1-2 the count.
It's a good job of laying off. We talk about how often guys will throw a fastball up 0-2, come back with something down in the zone. Might be a situation where Colin throws the breaking ball in the dirt. Forsythe doesn't come after it, and he tries to get him with the high heater.
Forsythe in his second year with Tampa Bay. Pops one up, shallow in left field. Correa going back, calling, and he'll make the play. And that'll do it. The Rays get a single and a walk and leave a pair. We played one and we're scoreless.
To the Home Run Derby crown and master the free award-winning game millions are playing. Download MLB.com Home Run Derby free on the App Store and Google Play. The guys set up Erasmo Ramirez talking about how good he's been, and the Astros certainly aware of that. A.J. Hinch talking before the game. They're trying to get this offense going, especially after a rough couple of days in Cleveland. But against Erasmo, He's a different style pitcher than what they've seen recently when he was in Seattle. More of a fastball changeup now, using that breaking ball a lot more when he was in Seattle. So they know it's going to be a tough series against these Tampa Bay pitchers, but today they got to get something going to kind of bounce back from that Cleveland series, guys.
Thank you, Julia. Yeah, the Astros could certainly use a bounce back. If they could find a way to sweep this series, that would give them a 5-5, 500 road trip. And I think all in all, you'd feel mighty good about that in the position you now stand in.
You know what Brad Ausmus would call that?
Salvage.
Exactly.
Good changeup. And that's a big pitch for Erasmo Ramirez.
And again, if you're watching at home, keep your eye on those 1-0, 2-1 counts. Those are great changeup counts where you can sometimes catch a hitter guessing fastball.
Another changeup.
And when you've got a good one like Erasmo, he's going to be fearless throwing it in those counts.
Right-hand batters have hit .265 against Ramirez. The lefties just .183, and to me that screams changeup.
Absolutely. What was the toughest pitch for you to hit left-handed?
Changeup.
Yep, me too.
Without a doubt. You jump, you see a fastball, you see, as long as you get that good arm speed, you see fastball. There it is, the change again, the strikeout of Valbuena to start the second inning. First strikeout for Erasmo Ramirez. What's going on in that American League West? The Astros have been seeing it tighten up quite a bit. The Angels now a game and a half back. They lost one yesterday, and that certainly aided the Astros. Rangers 6.5 back, followed by the Mariners and the A's. Ooh, that's going to be fun to watch that division the second half. Well, let's hope it's going to be fun.
No, it's going to be fun.
Evan Gattis says it's going to be fun, so it's going to be fun. 0 for his last 7, had that 9-game hitting streak snapped. It's well spotted. 1-1 the count. Glummer, you were a part of some big history with the Astros July 10th of 2003.
Oh, glory days.
Sure, with that photographic memory of yours, you recall what happened that day, right?
I got a hit.
Right on the hands, a ground ball to third. Longoria with the play. 2 outs here in the inning. You got more than a hit. You got 2 hits in 1 inning that day.
Are you serious?
But that turned out to be a mighty big day for one of your teammates, Mr. Craig Biggio.
I'm going to say it's either going to be Biggio or Bagwell.
So it was the day that Craig Biggio decided he was going to try to one-up you. And he slammed his 500th career double in that game, part of an 11-2 win over the Reds at Minute Maid Park. 2 hits in 1 inning, huh?
That's kind of cool. I didn't know that. Mark that off the list.
That's a pretty good first inning.
No, that year I was hitting behind Biggio, hitting 2-hole in between Biggio and Bagwell, and that was a blast.
Did you get an occasional fastball to hit?
Oh, my goodness. Are you kidding me?
Number 1, the fastball with Biggio on base.
Yeah, Jimmy Williams was a genius for putting a guy who can hit a fastball hitting that 2-hole.
Yeah, that's what I would call kind of a natural, but not everybody thinks about it.
It was beautiful, and Biggio had so many doubles anyways. I could roll over, put him in scoring position for Baggy. It was a nice little routine we had going there for a little bit.
Colby Rasmus crushes one to right field. See ya. Colby Rasmus gets the Astros quickly on the board as he hits a bomb to right field. That's number 11 for Colby. RBI number 29. And there you go. 1-0 Houston.
That was a home run that we were talking about in the open. Get that early lead for the Houston Astros. Open that seal a little bit. Let these guys get a little free and easy and swing it. Have some fun.
Something about having a teammate do that brings on the smiles, brings on the good times, and guys go swing the bats with a lot more authority.
No, there really is something to that. I agree with you. You've been on plenty of ball clubs, but they've been in a tough stretch. You were hoping it would happen yesterday with Hank Conger, but today Colby Rasmus here in the second inning, hopefully opening things up.
As well as Erasmo Ramirez has been pitching, you kind of have that apprehensive feel starting a ball game like this, but that helps so much.
It's a good look at Supermo. That pitch right down the middle, brought to you by Mattress Firm. Speaking of firm, that ball was killed.
And again, speaking of the drop here in St. Pete, the dimensions are not big, but for whatever reason, a lot of balls don't fly out of here. Do when they're hit like that. Chris Carter 0 for his last 12, hitting 190. Bat starts. They do not get the appeal. And it's a 2-out walk that brings up Jason Castro. Jason hitting just .208 now. Mentioned that the left-hand batters against Ramirez have hit just 183. Colby Rasmus trying to shake that up a bit. And Jason Castro would like to do the same.
Got to hit those mistakes. Can't miss them.
Yeah, isn't that the truth? And you tell yourself that all the time. Doesn't work out that way. Castro puts it in the air down the left side, slicing down the line. It lands foul in play, but because of the defense leaving De Jesus a long way off the line, he's unable to get there. Castro was 1 for 8 in Cleveland and 1 for 7 in Boston. This is just his 5th game here on this road trip. Two balls and a strike. Jason's getting more walking in than I am in the morning hours.
You need to change that, Ash.
I know. It's a fact. Castro's 7 home runs. He's driven in 19. Shift on in the infield. And a line drive into the gap in right center field. That'll drop. Carter digs for third. As the throw comes that way and up over everybody, that enables Castro to move into second base. And that's just a horrible play in center field by Kevin Kiermaier.
That was a poor choice by Kiermaier in center fielder. But what about if Erasmo isn't there to catch that throw?
Yeah, that goes on by the bag at third base, and Chris Carter has a chance to score.
Good piece of hitting. A couple of left-handers in this inning getting knocks. Expand that zone a little bit if you're looking for that pitch. Castro gets around it. Rakes it in that gap. I'm not sure. Kiermaier, I'm assuming, thought he had a chance to get Chris Carter running first to third. But with that ball going that far to his left, really no chance to get any base runner in the major leagues. But now you put your pitcher in a tough spot.
These Tampa Bay Rays have been playing, I guess to put it nicely, struggling baseball. And that kind of play is a big part of what makes up struggling baseball. That's a single, and Castro moves up to second, advancing on the throw. No error charged on the play, but that's...
Well, you can't... I mean, when are they going to start allowing mental errors?
Right. But, I mean, you go back in the clubhouse, whether it's tonight or tomorrow, and the skip starts talking to you, that's the play that most makes the manager mad, not the physical error.
Yeah, they'll let you be aggressive. You saw Altuve be aggressive on a ball in the dirt, get thrown out by quite a bit, but that's an aggressive physical error.
And these Rays have lost 11 of their last 12. So you put on a run like that and then start making plays like this, that looks really bad for a club.
Well, you've got 2 outs. You keep that runner at first and third. It keeps the force at second base, but now you've got second and third. A base hit drives in 2 runs instead of 1.
Yeah, it's Kevin Cash, the manager of the Rays.
Ex-Astro Kevin Cash.
Guy you know quite well.
Good guy.
Jake Marisnick has a 1-2 count. So we mentioned 11 of 12 the Rays have lost. In those 11 losses, 3 walk-off losses. How tough does that make it?
Yeah. Makes you wonder if the baseball gods are against you.
They've had 4 walk-off losses since June 21st. And they've had 5-6 walk-off losses on the season. So that's what you can call a really tough year. And they got off to a pretty good start. They were 12-10 in April. Marisnick down on strikes. That'll do it. A couple of strikeouts in the inning for Ramirez. But the Astros get a run on one big swing by Colby Rasmus. You're not just imagining things. That's a crooked lid on the top there.
Oh, I thought I forgot to put my right shoe on.
You did, actually, now that we have it brought up.
You can smell it too, huh?
3-15 since June 18th are the Tampa Bay Rays.
Ouch.
Look at the bullpen.
You look at it.
I did. In fact, I examined it, and that ERA is not going to do.
Gosh. Not getting pitching or timely hitting. 186 with runners in scoring position, too.
As Drupal Cabrera leads it off, hitting .222. Two-0 the count as McHugh falls behind. Just the second inning. Shame on you if you missed it. Long home run by Colby Rasmus. Showing bunt, dropping at third base side foul is Cabrera. You can't watch home run swings from the Astros too many times, can you?
Kind of looked like a four-seamer. Trying to come into the kitchen, but that ball flattened out right down the middle.
When you have one that you crush off the bat and it's right down the line and you're hoping it stays fair, what's that first thought?
Stay fair.
But I mean, it's like a beg. It's like a Christmas morning beg, isn't it?
How about the letdown when it goes foul?
Yeah. Three and one the count. Cabrera leading off the second. Could be followed by Geyer and Kiermaier. That's a pitch that Colin really turns to when he doesn't have the sharp command of the fastball.
It's a good pitch. Able to cut it back on that outside corner. Yeah, those home runs down the foul lines are always like Christmas Eve. This could be the big one.
Got him on that cutter slider. 87 miles an hour. Second strikeout for Colin McHugh. First out in the second.
And Colin's one of those guys that can make the adjustment throughout the course of the game. He said that he did a good job of that pitch before. Figured he might as well try it on that inside corner. Gets a swing over the top. But if that pitch is working for him, we might see a lot more of it.
That's a nice comeback in the count. Brandon Guyer at the plate. He's the right fielder. Oh, and 1 the count. Colin McHugh is presently working his 109th inning of the season. Right on the hands with the heat. And look at that number, 92 on that heater. Cabrera struck out with the first one in the inning.
This is that good fastball. Even though he misses a spot by a good 1.5 feet, still enough life on it to get it by Guyer. Tied him up.
I think when Colin can get to that 92 number with the other stuff he has, he can be dynamite.
It makes a world of difference for him, doesn't it?
90, make that 3 strikeouts all ready to start. 93 would be a lot here in the second inning.
Be some kind of record.
Check the books because I think you might be right. 8-hitter Kevin Kiermaier at the plate. It was Kiermaier in center making that very poor throw. Now hits a little chopper that's handled by McHugh. A 1-2-3 second inning. 1-0 Houston after 2.
Kick off your weekends at Minute Maid Park with the best fireworks show in town, presented by Marathon Oil Corporation. The next Friday night fireworks is July 17th when the Astros take on the Rangers. For more information, visit astros.com/fireworks or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
You never get to see any of those fireworks shows. You're always out in California. I imagine you can't see it from there.
You know what's crazy? How about this? The other night, sitting there watching a movie with the kids, and we keep hearing this popping sound, and we live close enough to Camp Pendleton where I'm like, oh, okay, they're just, firing range, letting it go. We turn around. It was clear enough that we saw the fireworks up in Anaheim at Disneyland.
Really?
It was a great night.
And that's the first time you've seen that?
First time.
Jose Altuve gets a fastball right there to hit, but puts it on the ground to shortstop. Cabrera throws him out. Altuve had a base hit in the first inning, then was caught trying to go into second base. Not a caught stealing. Pitch in the dirt. He took off, and a nice throw from Rivera. The catcher got him. With one out, it brings up Preston Tucker. Preston hit it sharply as he grounded to first base in the first. 5 dingers now, 21 ribbies. Is it extra pressure, or is it more fun to come home and play in front of the folks?
It's kind of a mix for me. I going back and playing in San Diego, LA, I always felt there was a certain sense of excitement, but I also put a little extra pressure on myself trying to put on a show for the family and friends in the hometown.
You get off to a good start, it becomes big time fun, and you start showing off, right?
Oh,
you get
yeah.
off to a bad start, and it's kind of a load. Good swing by Preston. Fouls it back. 1-2 the count.
He's definitely coming in here with some good vibes surrounding him, having that 4-hit birthday that he had. Hopefully his family is celebrating it for a second time. Maybe we get to see 4 more hits.
He is 25 years and 4 days old now. There's the changeup, but it stays outside. 2-2 the count. Talked about Preston Tucker growing up, going to Plant High School in the Tampa area. Attended University of Florida at Gainesville. 3-2 the count.
Good take.
You know, it might sound silly on a pitch like that thrown right into the ground, but on a changeup, you'll occasionally see somebody start the bat on that one.
We saw a couple breaking balls in that Cleveland series.
Yes. I think it was Trevor Bauer had the curveball in the dirt that was seemingly impossible to lay off. 2-hopper to second base with the shift on. It's the shortstop Cabrera, and the second out of the inning. Our AT&T Rewind looks back at the first month of Carlos Correa's career, including the first homer as an Astro, that off of Zach Duke in Chicago just over a month ago now. Well, it seems like yesterday. He also launched in Boston. He had a big series there against the Red Sox. They found out what he's all about.
And those home runs in Boston, they weren't up by a lot, down by a lot. Those were game-tying,
yes.
putting them ahead.
Yeah. Takes one right down the middle at 91.
That last play, Evan Longoria, the way they play the shift here in Tampa, had him at second base, and they left Cabrera at short. So for those scoring at home or like me, you need to know that that's a 5-3.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because my score sheet would have forever been wrong.
And I don't want that to happen.
Thank you. Correa takes down and away. 2-1 the count. You know, you're a thoughtful sort.
Well, if you can put Evan Longoria anywhere on this diamond where a ball is going to be hit, it's a good chance it's going to turn into an out.
Well spotted, down and away. 2-2 the count. Yeah, I imagine both pitchers wouldn't mind getting that pitch all night.
Seems like Erasmo early on is getting it a little more often than calling the cue.
Fastball got him right out there on the outside. Black. Third strikeout for Ramirez. 1-2-3 third inning, but it's 1-0 Houston.
that Astro. This is brought to you by your local Honda dealer. All right, here we go. Traded to the Astros for Don Sutton. These are your clues. 1986 All-Star and his cousin, James Lofton. Some athletes right there. Make sure you tweet your guesses to Cat Ash right there.
Oh, yes.
There you go. Give him some Twitter love.
Blow him up.
Interact with Ash, and we'll have the answer later in the broadcast.
Nice, Julia. And I know who it is. Ooh, 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 I know. You know who it is, Blummer? You don't.
I most definitely do not.
You don't. Okay. Bottom of the third we go. 9-hitter Rene Rivera at the plate. He is the catcher. And he has had some struggles with the bat. Hitting 176. Does have pop. 5 home runs on the year.
Well, Lofton, it's got to be Kenny Lofton.
No. Doesn't have to be. I'm not saying it's not. It just doesn't have to be.
It's not.
You're getting hypercritical right now, aren't you? Maybe accurate. 0-2 the count. Breaking ball got him. Rivera down on strikes. That's 4 now for Colin McHugh, out number 1 in the third.
Looking a little bit normal for Colin McHugh. Get a super mode couple. This is the cutter that struck out Cabrera. See him get a little bit on the side of it, create that late cut, kind of sliding across the plate, swing over the top, and then this is just a 4-seam fastball. See the fingers a little more on top of the baseball, creating that run.
One ball and no strikes. Leadoff man John Jaso flied to center field, hit it deep in the first inning. Jake Marisnick able to get back and make the play. These Rays have really had a tough time with the catcher position in terms of the offensive side this year. John Jaso came to the big leagues as a catcher, so I'm surprised that he hasn't played behind the plate this year. I'm getting some correct answers right away that are not Kenny Lofton.
Darn it. Doesn't make any sense.
No?
I guess your cousin doesn't have to have the same last name.
No, he could have a different one, and in this case he does. And yes, okay, I'll give you a clue. I think this is right. This particular player came over in a deal with Frank DiPino. I think that's correct. 3 balls and a strike. Oh, that's a good curveball on the 3-1. Does that say that Colin has a little more feel on the breaking balls?
Say some command and some confidence right here.
And yet we've talked about the fact that the velocity on the fastball has been pretty good this evening. Curveball again.
Yeah, but you pitch yourself into a hitter's count. Usually 3-1. Hitters will look for that fastball because you don't want to walk him in an off-speed pitch. But Colin McHugh, like you just said, has a good feel for that curveball, goes ahead and throws it. And he backed up on, or he went back to back on it, 3-1, 3-2. Now Jaso's wondering what the heck he's going to come with next.
What? Goes that cutter, slider on the hands, and picks up the strikeout. 5 already for Colin McHugh. So you were pointing out that he didn't strike out many the last time out.
He's more than making up for that right now. Only 1. That's that curveball grip. See a lot of the baseball in that grip. And then comes back with the slider.
Two outs for David DeJesus. Curveball to start him. Wow. This is kind of a master's class on pitching right now. How to utilize breaking pitches. And then Colin comes back with the high heat. 92. Oh,
It's got to be fun as a catcher when a guy starts showing command of 3 or 4 pitches early on. Really don't have to sweat what fingers you put down.
You know, when you have the conversations back in the dugout, hey, your curveball looks good, and the pitcher will say, yeah, I'm really feeling it on that one right now, so let's go ahead. You can use it any count you want. How about that cutter, that slider? Believe me, any place you want, you know. And you start having that rapport back and forth, and it turns out to be a really nice, easy evening to call a game that way. AJ's been there.
You know what's unique about the series before an All-Star break is if you go well and you do good, you get to sit on it for 4 days.
Yeah.
5 days until your next outing, which could be great for Colin McHugh.
I was talking to the Rays broadcasters. They were talking about, and I can't tell you which year it was, but the Rays wound up, I believe, winning the division or at least going into postseason play. They had a 7-game losing streak going into the All-Star break, but they came back, seemed to forget all about it, and started playing great baseball and kind of ran from there. So, I mean, it happens all kinds of ways, and there's no predicting.
It's pretty interesting. You think they'd be demoralized, but again, like you said, those 4 days off kind of wipe everything clean, start all over, refreshed.
And you know what you're going to hear. The manager's going to say, forget what happened as we led up to the break. Let's go play some baseball. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You know what? When it's all said and done, it's been said a million plus times. You got to have the horses. The horses have to play.
Yep.
And I think A.J. Hinch and this whole team believes they have the horses. Got to get George Springer back as soon as possible. Likely, I would imagine, 8 weeks. Ground ball right side, shift on. That is Carlos Correa. I know that man. 1, 2, 3, third inning, 7 in a row retired by Colin McHugh. Base is empty in the second inning, and that's the difference in the ball game. Colin McHugh has been downright sharp, striking out 5 through 3 innings. To the fourth we go. Luis Valbuena, the cleanup man, leads it off, and Colin just settles in as pitchers do by themselves, and let's get ready for that next inning. Valbuena starts the bat, goes through. Home plate umpire takes it tonight. That is Sam Holbrook. Down at first, Greg Gibson, he's the crew chief. Toby Basner at second, and at third it's Chad Fairchild. Ramirez is making life tough right now on the guys. He's got a great changeup, spotting some fastballs extremely well. He has struck out 3. He got Valbuena, Marisnick, and Carlos Correa.
Ooh, good idea. Tell you what, Valbuena launches a ball like that down that left field line, he's going to be running for a little bit.
You can see what Ramirez does. He'll get you on the changeup, then get you looking change and bring that gas.
91 looks like 101 after a good changeup.
1-2. Gaddis to follow, then Colby Rasmus. So where do things stand with the Astros? 123 home runs now. Best in the major leagues. Still lead the American League in stolen bases with 69. Stay loose, folks.
Usually Valbuena looks like he's trying to take that fastball the other way. It's not a bad idea when you're facing a guy with a changeup. Stay on the fastball going the other way, and if he leaves a changeup out over the plate, be able to be nice and quick.
There are days in batting practice, much like spring training, where you see Valbuena just hit line drives to left field. It looks perfect.
Well, and these swings that he's taking are a little more under control as opposed to home run hack, where he really tries to unload.
He's got that lift and separate approach at a lot of the at bats. Fastball hit sharply. Nice play by Loney at first base. Feeds onto Ramirez and out number 1. That's a gem.
Yeah, that was a little disappointing. Ball hit well. Good AB. Our Geico quote of the day is from Atlanta Braves blogger Harris Nye on Evan Gattis earlier this year. With his thick beard, large stature, and muscle-bound physique, he looks for all the world like an 1800s frontiersman who came in from chopping down redwoods to have a couple of swings at the ballpark. If someone said Gattis had fashioned his bat from an oak he just chopped down, you could be forgiven for believing that. That was well said. Very poetic. Keeping it together pretty good.
Yeah. Actually,
did you enjoy my rendition of that?
I did. I did. It was better than the original. I guarantee you that way. 0-2 now on Evan Gattis. I think you've got Evan all messed up with that one.
I would have explained him more as a guy cruising the prairies as a velociraptor goes running by.
He hid the beard right there with that big swing. Right shoulder was all in place and you couldn't see the beard. And kind of looked like a normal ball player for a moment. Boy, has he been valuable.
Oh, he's been a gem.
I got to tell the folks a whole lot of right answers as strike 3 is called on Evan Gattis on our Who's the Astro tonight? What do we call that?
Name that
Astro.
You're going to look at a pretty nasty pitch, but for me, what I notice about Evan Gattis is he's swinging a different bat. This bat is half natural color, half black. He's normally swinging that tree trunk that is one natural color all the way through. I wonder what changed.
Ground ball to first by Colby Rasmus. Just inside the line. That'll do it. A 1-2-3 4th inning. Erasmo Ramirez settling in. It's 1-0 Houston.
The Astros' upcoming schedule is presented by Progressive. This weekend series goes through the 12th with the Tampa Bay Rays. Kind of an evening game tomorrow, day game on Sunday before everybody takes off. Altuve and Keuchel for that All-Star game on Tuesday the 14th. A big week in Cincinnati before coming back home and starting that series with the Texas Rangers back at home. Day off on the 20th. 3 games against Boston. And then Hall of Fame weekend, the team will be in Kansas City for a 3-game set. While Craig Biggio again will be at the Hall of Fame being inducted. First Astro going into that Hall of Fame. Big weekend.
Yeah, I wonder how many folks from the Astros organization are going to be there. I know that's a big thing for the organization. And obviously just an enormous congratulation. We all knew it was coming and coming quickly for Craig Biggio. 1-0 Houston. Evan Longoria leads off. He drew a walk as he batted with 2 outs and the bases empty in the first inning. Got as far as third base as we watch Colin McHugh continue to master this strike zone. You know, Julia's just got to make these questions, name that Astro, much tougher, because fans are all right. They're just crushing this thing.
Astro fans know their history.
Yeah, they do. And they now apparently know how to get a hold of me.
Well, especially in the 80s, too. I mean, there were some great ball clubs. You know that, having been on them. But
well, this guy was one of the reasons for some of the really good ball clubs. And a great friend of mine. High fastball hit in the air, center field. Pushes Marisnick back a few strides. First out of the inning. You know, I think about that core, though, of the Astros with Craig Biggio and Jeff Bagwell and Ken Caminiti. And I guess Steve Finley was a part of that. And somebody's not coming to mind right now for some reason.
Darryl Kyle, Mike Hampton.
Yeah, I mean, you can turn to that pitching side, but those guys that were out there on the field every day, man, that was a group of players. And they had that gamer mentality as a group. James Loney at the plate. Had a base hit in the first.
Wasn't Spire on those teams? Playing all over the place.
He was part of that in the late 90s.
Yep.
Yeah. Sean Barry, of course, yes. I guess I was thinking kind of in the early 90s.
Luis Gonzalez.
Luis Gonzalez. There's the other one I was thinking about. In the early 90s to the mid 90s, that group, what a core. And then, of course, Morgan Ensberg came along, as did Richard Hidalgo. Bobby Abreu got away. You can understand why they had a lot of winning teams.
Freddie Garcia.
Yep. Ground ball right side. Altuve's there. Second out of the 4th inning. That'll bring up Logan Forsythe.
There was a shortstop in that trade going to Seattle, too. Switch hitter. Cannot remember his name for the life of me.
Oh, well, you're talking about a guy that turned out to be a
real good,
terrific player.
Yeah.
Detroit Tigers is where I think of him with a lot of his career. Gee, that should be such an easy one, too.
We've locked everybody up with that.
No, well, you
Get
locked
ready
me
for your
up.
Twitter to go nuts now.
Yeah. Quickly.
So I know there's plenty of people at home helping us out.
Freddie Garcia and Carlos. Carlos Guillen. Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Nice.
Well, that was the duo that really made up the centerpiece of that deal for Randy Johnson. 0-2 the count. This is the Colin McHugh that I know Brent Strom would love to see every time.
Well, last year he was so consistent. We put high expectations on him. It's been a little more streaky this year.
Fastball blown by at 92. 6th strikeout of the night for Colin McHugh. Another 1-2-3 frame. He's retired 10 in a row.
Jack in the box takes us inside the box score, taking a look at first base numbers. Talked about some of the offensive woes, and usually you've got some big boppers there at first base, and these guys are big boppers, just the numbers aren't translating here at the big league level. And this is first base production with MLB ranks. So 59 hits last. We don't expect a lot of hits out of them, but we'd like to see those home run numbers. Middle of the pack on that. The RBIs sinking lower. Of course, the strikeouts and the batting average, where they are, is not too shocking. We'd like to see that number turn around and get these guys going a little bit. Chris Carter did it last year. We're still waiting for that explosion.
There's the two guys. Can one of those guys take it and run with it? I guess that's really one of the big questions right now surrounding the team.
Well, you lose a guy like Springer, who's at the top of your lineup. He can produce. But we've seen in the middle of this lineup early on, it was a big struggle for them to get any kind of hit to begin with. But when they are hitting the ball, like Gaddis is now in the middle of the lineup, runs are going to be produced. But if you're going to go win a pennant, it's going to be real hard to win a pennant with the middle of your order having a weakness like that, for me.
Yeah, and Chris Carter flies out to start the inning. You know, we've talked about it a number of times this year. Chris Carter took it and really ran with it. Had about a 2-month period last year where he tore it up.
Unloaded. He carried the team.
Well, so can that happen again this year? I guess you have to say yes.
You've got to believe.
Jason Castro having a down year with the bat. You take Jason back to 2 years ago, the All-Star campaign with the bat. Of course, he's played terrific defense this year.
So you can't discount that.
Not a bit. Not a bit. But with all the woes, you know, it's really amazing what's gone on with the Astros. They are third in the American League in runs scored.
Home runs.
So that says there are a whole lot of other clubs out there saying the same thing. Our team is really struggling offensively. Tampa Bay certainly among those, as Castro is caught looking and has a parting question at home plate.
Gosh, look at those pitches. Just all over the edges.
5 strikeouts now for Ramirez. Well, Ramirez has been good, but he's allowed one big swing to Colby Rasmus and a 1-0 Houston lead. Jake Marisnick takes that slider that finds the inside edge.
Well, Castro's another guy. We know he can swing the bat. What if he all of a sudden ignites?
Popped up, foul territory, room for Loney. He'll make the catch. A 1-2-3 inning. That's 10 in a row retired now by Ramirez. Colin McHugh has been the man here this evening. Sports is presented by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare right now at southwest.com. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. And brought to you by Brake Check. Every fourth oil change is free, even on synthetic. First pitch of the inning, grounded to first base. Carter on a McHugh. One pitch, one out. And so Colin McHugh continues to deal. He gets Asdrubal Cabrera for the first out of the fifth. Now that looks like fun.
So one of them bites your finger off.
What do? Do you feed them or what?
No, you just give them a nice pet. It's not bad. I think Julia should get the snorkel gear on and go for a swim.
That'd be good. Stay in the center. It appears that that's a ray-free zone. Brandon Guyer at the plate. Strikeout victim in the second.
Brownie might go canoeing through that.
That's guaranteed. You should have been there for that day in San Francisco.
I asked him about it. I love hearing him tell that story.
Phone rings. Hello? It's Brownie.
Meanwhile, you're working the game, and Brownie is not.
He's out there kayaking out behind the right field wall in San Francisco.
Oh, that had to be great.
Throwing the paddles up in the air. Yeah, I see you, Brownie. Keep having a great time. What an amazing man. One and two on Guyer. And a 2-2 count. Yeah, I was wondering, one of the fans here on Twitter talking about going to see the Hall of Fame induction for Craig Biggio. And I wonder how many fans are considering going that way or already have locked in, decided they're going to be there. Little ground ball left side. Valbuena cuts in front. And the second out of the inning, a couple of ground ball outs to bring up center fielder Kevin Kiermaier. What do you think as a fan? And I don't know, where you were as a fan. Would you consider going on to the Hall of Fame, watch the induction of Craig Biggio?
I would. I mean, if I'm a hardcore fan, and how about just being an Astro fan your whole life, and then being a Biggio fan? Now you get to go out there and watch the first Astro be inducted, and it's Craig Biggio. I think it would be an incredible thing to go see. Let alone Cooperstown is awesome.
Oh my, yeah, it is. I had a chance to go there one time. As the fly ball goes down the left field side, moving toward the line is Rasmus. There's a nice quick fifth inning as Colin McHugh deals through it. 1-0 Houston through 5.
Up a long 10-day road trip here in Tampa, or St. Petersburg, I should say. But this Astros team really wants to finish strong right now. A.J. Hinch talking about it earlier today, saying after those 3 rough games in Cleveland, they really could use a high note to end the road trip on as they head to the All-Star break. They're obviously in good spirits, guys, here in the dugout, as you can see. But, yeah, just offensively could really get it going just to make everyone feel better as they head into the break.
Yeah, you can see some smiles right now, leading 1-0. See if this offense can get cranked up and really bring some smiles to the bench. Altuve's 1 for 2 on the night. Had a first inning single, then was thrown out at second trying to advance on a pitch in the dirt. The Astros have 3 hits. One of those, though, went a long ways off the bat of Colby Rasmus. His 11th home run of the year. Erasmo Ramirez has been everything he's been billed to be. He has been tough. Problem for the Rays and their fans is Colin McHugh has been a bit better. Colin McHugh with 6 strikeouts through 5. Ramirez has 5 of his own. That blows up. Longoria with the play on the run and the first out of the 6th inning.
Celebrate Craig Biggio at the Biggio Hall of Fame weekend presented by Coca-Cola from July 31st to August 2nd. Giveaways include a Biggio Hall of Fame bobblehead, a Biggio replica pinstripe jersey, and a Biggio replica Hall of Fame plaque. Each to 10,000 fans. For more information, visit Astros.com or call 1-877-9-ASTROS. That's actually here at the Trop in the Ted Williams Museum, I believe it is. Very cool. That brick red jersey he wore for years. Appropriate recognition.
So when you think of Craig Biggio, what jersey do you think of?
For me, it's that pinstripe one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
probably
brick red,
for me as
black
well.
Pinstripes, yeah.
Yeah, but he's been through, I don't know how many uniforms, how many uniform tops did Craig Biggio go through on his sojourn with the Astros?
Well, he came up,
and
he was
recall
wearing some
that
of the
there
rainbows.
were different color ones on any given season. So how many different versions of a uniform did he go through? It's 1-1 on Preston Tucker.
When I played with him in 02-03, we had 3 jerseys that one year.
So you had a solid red, you had the pinstripe.
The all-white uniform that we would wear at home on Saturdays, I believe.
Line shot into left field right through the shortstop spot. Preston Tucker has been hitting the ball sharply and a lot of those times to left field. As he continues swinging it well, he's 1 for 3.
This is even better because he's getting pitched away and hitting the ball well the other way, and that's another reason. Plenty of gaps out there on that side of the field for him.
He does one thing that really stands out to my eye when he's swinging it well, the way he stays down with his legs and gets the barrel of the bat right through the strike zone.
Well, that swing is back to being level again.
Yeah, it is. Carlos Correa trying to get an early swing in the count. He's been falling behind a lot of times, maybe with an approach where you try to look at some pitches, but I don't think this is a bad idea to get up there and get some good hacks. 0 for 2 today with a strikeout. Watch what we're talking about with Preston Tucker.
Good pitch down and away.
Look at that back leg.
Keeping that nose on it, too.
Yep.
Good batting.
Carlos Correa with a 1-1 count. There goes Tucker. Ground ball back to the mound off the glove of the pitcher. Safe at second. They'll get the out at first base. So it'll go 1-4-3 on the put out of Carlos Correa. Safely into second is Tucker. And having Tucker on the move there, probably averting the double play.
Well, and the reason the hit and run was on, too, is because Correa has been struggling. So when you get a runner in motion, it creates some movement. This one almost backfired. I might replay this one if I'm a Tampa Bay Ray. That might be a double play.
They are talking about it on the field. Let me just ask you this. Do you also, as a manager, put a hit and run on with a guy that's struggling, trying to force him to swing the bat and maybe make something happen?
Yes.
They're going to review this one now. So you saw enough there that might lead you to say this could get overturned?
Well, I thought that last angle we saw it from first base really looked like Forsythe did a good job of keeping that right foot on the bag. Just tough luck. Right foot. Might have stayed on there just enough time. I don't know. The other angle was better for me.
This one?
Yeah, this one right here. Watch that right foot and the ball.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I think you might be right. This could turn out to be a double play. That's really close.
That's
isn't
extremely close. I think it's worthy of a challenge, but again, everything has to come down to, is there enough there to overturn it?
I think we were told there that every frame is a 30th of a second.
Wow.
So the umpires reviewing this play, could turn out to be a double play to end the inning.
Good grief. How about the tough luck for Correa right now? All the places to hit it on the field up the middle with the guy covering is not the spot you want to go.
He was probably trying to put it on the ground on the right side. I agree with A.J. Hinch right there. Maybe trying to force the action with Carlos.
We just want to create movement in the infield, open up some holes. Maybe a guy sneaks one through, sees it land, and there you go.
It's a double play. So Correa grounds into a double play, 1-4-3. And that'll do it for the Astros in the 6th inning. Very, very close, but you can see it there. It would appear that double play is turned accurately. So the Astros go down with a hit, but just 3 batters faced in the 6th inning. 1-0 Houston.
Hot Dog Wednesday presented by Nolan Ryan Beef, and the next Dollar Dog Buffet is Wednesday, July 22nd when the Astros take on the Red Sox. For more info, visit astros.com/dollardogs or call 1-877-9-ASTROS.
Thank you, Julia. That's a great shot of the sun setting here in Hawaii as the Astros and Rays. That feel about right to you?
That would be, it's got me right in the right frame of mind right now, that's for sure.
Rene Rivera, the catcher at the plate. You had some of the pineapple over there when it's just in season.
It's ridiculous. It's so good.
Ball and a strike on Rivera. He struck out. He was the 4th victim of the strikeout pitch. Colin McHugh with 6. Picked him up through the first 4 innings and now falls behind 2-1. A run on 4 hits for Houston. No runs on 1 hit for the Rays. Ground ball left side, diving effort by Correa, can't make it. Ball kicks off the glove. Leadoff single by Rivera, hit number 2 for the Rays, and now the top of the order.
It's the first hit for the Rays since the first inning. Almost turned into an out.
I guess you'd have to call that One of the few that got away from calling tonight, maybe right through the heart of the plate. John Jaso is the leadoff man, flied out and struck out. Jaso's been around, 31 years of age now. There's that 1-0 curveball. Colin with great command on the evening. Jaso was with the Oakland A's each of the past couple of seasons. He's also played with Seattle, and previous to that came up with Tampa Bay. Right on the hands, but lined into right field, base hit. Digging for third is Rivera, and into second base, John Jaso. A single and a double to start the inning for Tampa Bay. And nobody out as the two-hitter David DeJesus comes to the plate.
It's a good job by Jaso fighting off that cutter in. Lots of location. You want it elevated. Not sure why Castro would set up down the middle and want that elevated and that ball cutting in. I wonder if there was a miscommunication there. But with Preston Tucker shifted in the outfield towards that right center field gap, it took him a while to get over there. And Jaso made a good move going into second base, taking advantage of the left-handed throwing Preston Tucker.
Yeah, we've seen some of those situations recently where outfielders in shifts are just not in a position to take what would normally be a somewhat routine ball. So second and third. Shift on, three infielders on the right side, and now Tampa Bay gets a left-hander loosening in their pen down the right field side.
It's interesting.
It is Jake McGee, the left-hander. Take another look at that John Jaso double.
Pull the hands in it, turn on it.
That was just the second double on the season for Jaso. Colin could certainly use one of those strikeouts right about now. Ball and a strike on DeJesus. Evan Longoria waits on deck. Getting right in the thick of the order. 2, 3, 4 coming up. And a 1-2 count.
Got away with one there.
Yes, he did. You see DeJesus shaking his head at himself, no doubt. DeJesus in his 13th season in the major leagues. It's a good spot on that curveball. Not where Castro had set up. Kansas City, Oakland, the Cubs. Just a dab with the Nationals and then on to Tampa Bay. Colin brings the 1-2. That's not a bad pitch. You try to get on the hands, you might get a little something in the infield, whether you're talking about ground ball or a little pop up.
Well, I like looking back to the pitch before. Breaking ball off the plate outside, slowed his bat down to go and try and foul it off, and then you try and bust him up and in. Thought that was a smart pitch. Just DeJesus is having a pretty good AB right here. But yeah, definitely a good pitch to blow a guy up, get that ground ball.
Two and two the count. And yes, we are getting some fans that are saying they're going to be there for that induction for Craig Biggio.
I think that's so great. Good for them.
He's meant, along with You know, Jeff Bagwell's name is almost synonymous with Craig Biggio. They've meant so much to the Houston sports fans. Line drive, gloved by Carter. He'll get an out at first as McHugh covers, but a run scores to tie it at 1. RBI ground out to Jesus, and now into third base, John Jaso. That was a defensive gem by Chris Carter.
That was a huge play. Great job of laying out. For the time being, saves a run, because if that ball gets by him, it's a double for sure and 2-run score.
What are your thoughts here with Evan Longoria come to the plate? Astros draw the infield in.
I don't want to be playing third base.
That's one thought.
Can't remember which manager it was, but Gary Sheffield was up in a situation like this, and they're like, infield in. I started screaming at the dugout. I was like, you better find somebody else to come out here and stand in front of Gary Sheffield hitting lasers down here at third. I'm not going to be doing it.
It's our buggy whipping that bat, and man. I imagine that was not a fun place to be.
But yeah, this might be a situation where Colin kind of throws pitches off the plate, trying to get Longoria to stretch that zone a little bit.
Close, but no call. 2-0 the count. Is Colin McHugh willing to walk Longoria here by making just one tough pitch after another?
I'd say so. Who would you rather get beat by, Evan Longoria or James Loney?
Well, you don't want to get beat by Longoria. He's probably the #1 name in that Rays lineup.
Got away with one there too. 2-0 breaking ball, caught a lot of the plate, and Longoria's been in these situations numerous times. So he might have been sitting on this off speed. You could see he wants it on the outside corner, but middle down is a good spot to hit with a runner at third.
Yeah, would you agree, or do you have different thoughts on who you go after in this order?
No, I would agree. I'd take my chances with James Loney, try and get that ground ball double play. But now you by him going to that 2-2 count kind of creates some interesting scenarios.
Right.
Do you try and bust him in with the fastball after throwing so much off speed with him? What are you going to do right here to go for that strikeout or ground ball?
It can change game plans. You say, well, let's pitch tough on this guy, and then you get 2-2 and you go, we've got an out right here. Let's see how we get him.
Seen that cutter work quite well. That'd be a good pitch staying away from Longoria, who has plenty of pop.
That's the first time this evening I think I've seen Colin McHugh just yank the fastball. When he's scuffling, you'll see a lot of that.
Yeah.
Longoria now in his 8th season, all with the Tampa Bay Rays. And last year played in 162 games. Ground ball to short, dropped by Correa, won't get the out at the plate. He will at first base, but that ground out produces a run, and it's the run that puts the Rays on top 2-1.
Tampa Bay is a tough place to play infield in. You've got the AstroTurf infield, the dirt cut out, and you can see it kind of skipped off that turf, ate up Carlos Correa because that ball was hit so hard. So for me, everybody wants to get that play at home, and I'm sure Carlos Correa did too, but at the same time, I thought it was a great play to be able to knock it down and make sure you get that second out.
41 RBIs for Evan Longoria. And like you say, Blummer, it's a play you'd love to make if you're at shortstop. Cut down that run at the plate, but you get that ball just skidding at you off that turf.
But the way ball games have been going here of late, the Astros offense not scoring many runs. That second run looks like a big run right now.
Does. 2-1 in the 6th inning.
Because Colin is still pitching very well.
Two-0 the count. James Loney at the plate. We talked about Loney in the scenario with maybe men on base, but it turns out that he bats with 2 outs and the base is empty. Ground ball, backhanded by Altuve. Almost throws on the run needlessly, and then Plants the feet to get Loney, and that'll do it in the 6th inning. But Tampa Bay puts 2 on the board on ground balls. 2-1 Tampa Bay. Goes to their bullpen. So now time for the AT&T call to the bullpen as we see what the Rays are doing here strategically.
Big left-hander Jake McGee comes in out of that bullpen. We showed the numbers early in the game. That bullpen getting roughed up a little bit. That's why it's a little bit interesting for me that they went to that bullpen so early. Erasmo Ramirez only had 77 pitches on the game. McGee making his 20th appearance. Has a fastball about 94, 95 miles an hour. Has a curveball to back it up. Only the 6th inning. Or top of the 7th.
Yeah, that's surprising to me too. Of course, we don't know what may have been said down in the dugout, but I think the Astros as a group should be pleased to be able to see this change right now. Not if McGee paints like that. We've talked many times about the bullpens this year, and the Astros remain second best in the American League as a group with the ERA. Tampa Bay is 13th in the league. Well, there's a unique catch. That's what we call framing. 4.09 the ERA for this group.
How do you do that?
I don't know how he caught that ball. I think just in terms of pure style points, you got to give a strike right there, don't you?
Maybe half a strike. I mean, he had the back of the glove facing the ball, yet still caught it. Wizardry.
Hearing that word makes me think of Ozzie Smith.
He was a wizard.
I think Ozzie could have made that catch. Not many others could.
While doing a backflip?
Yeah, probably. Probably is right. So Erasmo Ramirez done. Is that a good thing, or?
We're going to find out.
Pitch is driven left center field. Going back. Kiermaier can't get to it. Extra bases. And there you go. Luis Valbuena against the lefty McGee starts things with a double.
Well, that's a good start. Valbuena driving the ball the other way, getting into scoring position. Evan Gattis coming up. How about that? Good piece of hitting. Saw his at bat before, fouling some pitches off over there. Then he got a hit taken away by James Loney when he hit a bullet right at him. But what a good piece of hitting. That's what you do. Keep that front shoulder closed on a fastball from a lefty and drive it. Beautiful.
And now you've got that assignment to at least tie this game here in the inning.
Be interesting to see how they pitch Evan Gattis. Evan does a good job of going up the middle the other way. But McGee throws hard. Does he try and come to the kitchen? trying to come. Oh my. Well, they tried to come in. I'm not so sure that was a strike.
I don't buy that one. Yeah, the thing is, in coming in now to stay away from the ground ball to the right side, you might be playing into Gaddis's long ball game. No doubt about it. McGee throws very hard. There he comes in, but the fly ball to center field. Valbuena tagging, but not coming. And out number one.
Our TXU Energy Power Player of the game is Colby Rasmus. The one run that is on the board right now for the Houston Astros was off the bat of Colby Rasmus. Got a four-seam fastball leaking up out over the plate. The man loves driving the fastball, and he did on that pitch. 11th home run of the season for Colby Rasmus, looking to contribute again right here with a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, if you're watching Jake McGee and then thinking, why isn't this guy closing with this kind of an arm? He did last year and saved 19 games. Has 23 saves on his career, 3 of them coming this year. Brad Boxberger is the closer for the Rays this season and has 20 saves. They've spread them around, though. Kevin Jepson has 5. One ball and one strike. Chris Carter on deck. That home run by Rasmus in the second inning, just inside the right field foul pole and way back there. Here's Carter. Colby's been making some really good plays in the outfield.
I'm glad somebody out there called foul ball.
Finally, yeah. I think we have about 1,000 or more correct answers on Twitter for the Name That Astro tonight.
I like it.
So
I love that they're watching, and I love that they know the answer.
You know, this is a big inning right here. You get the leadoff double, and now you don't move him, so somebody's got to come through. But the slider strikes out Rasmus, second out of the inning. And now it's up to Chris Carter.
Time for some 2-out lightning.
Yeah, the Astros would love to come up with some of that right about here.
Would you rather have thunder or would you rather have lightning?
Well, you got to have lightning before you have thunder. So
we just had lightning, so let's get some thunder and drive in 2 runs with a bomb.
Let's do it. Take a look at that last pitch on Colby Rasmus.
Good curveball from McGee.
Jake McGee gets ahead, or at least even in the count. 1-1. Boy, that's well spotted. 95. And now Carter has a 1-2 count.
It was challenging Chris Carter a little bit off the inside edge. We saw a pitch on Gaddis called on that inside edge too. You'd like to be rewarded for taking that pitch, but now you're in a hole 1-2.
Right back in there. Ground ball to third. Longoria with the play. And that'll do it. The leadoff double is stranded at second base. We played 6.5, 2-1 Tampa Bay.
And it is time to name that Astro. This is brought to you by your local Honda dealer. Those were your clues. And thank you for tweeting Alcat Ash the answer. Kevin Bass. Oh, he hit a home run from both sides of the plate in one game. He was the 15th to do that, to go along with all those other fun clues.
Julia, he was some kind of player. And I know you know that. Yeah, he used to talk about being the cousin of James Lofton. Both great athletes. And might I say,
are we not going to mention how unbelievable the mustache is?
You know, that's
I didn't know Sammy Davis Jr. played for the Astros.
That's a look that will never go away.
So was that like the thing for you guys in the 80s, is to have that mustache? I mean, everybody had one. They were amazing.
That came along with being a great talent, and then you just brought that along for the walk.
That was the sixth tool.
Fly ball to center field. Marisnick quickly back to make the play, and one out here in the 7th inning as Logan Forsythe flies out.
Shortstop, number 13, Asdrubal Cabrera.
Brings up as Asdrubal Cabrera, the shortstop. Boy, what a night for Colin McHugh, and yet he trails here in the 7th.
Yeah, that normally doesn't happen to Colin.
Leadoff single in the 6th inning by Rene Rivera. John Jaso doubled to right field. Runners at second and third, and 2 ground ball outs in the infield. And the Rays jump on top. Of course, a little bit unique there. One very nice play by Chris Carter. A run scored on that one. And then with the infield drawn in, that hot shot to shortstop kicked off the glove of Carlos Correa, and a run scored. Correa got the out at first.
How about the run support that Colin McHugh has been getting this year? They're averaging well, they are averaging 5.97 runs per game when Colin is out there.
Ground ball to first. Chris Carter's there again. It's been busy. 2 down here in the 7th inning.
Come out to St. Arnold's Bar at Minute Maid Park for baseball on tap on Friday, July 17th. It kicks off at 4:30 p.m. and features a beer tasting, live music, and a souvenir Astros pint glass to the first 500 fans with an event ticket. For more information, call 1-877-9-ASTROS or visit astros.com/baseball on tap.
Two outs. Brandon Guyer at the plate. Talking about that run support for Colin McHugh, it is deceiving until you get a chance to look at the numbers.
Yo.
Drive to left field. Geyer gets into this thing back at the wall. That one is out of here. And Tampa Bay adds another run here in the 7th inning. A 2-out dinger to left by Geyer. 3-1, Rays on top.
Of course, he's going to be that guy. Set up away. Watch where this pitch ends up. Geyer, for me, has a quick swing, but it's in the zone, out of the zone pretty quick, and that was right in his wheelhouse.
It's just the 3rd home run by Brandon Geyer. Left-hander Joe Thatcher gets loose in the Astros pen. That's down the left side. Right-hander Kevin Jepsen warming for the Rays. Well, that just kills you when a guy in a tight ball game hits a 2-out solo home run. Foul down the left field side.
Jason's able to knock it down.
It's your buddy, huh?
Yeah, you got to protect the bullpen catcher here at Tropicana Field. They're all in the line of fire down those lines.
You don't see a lot of bullpens like this anymore, but we used to always have to have a guy designated to protect the guys. Just inside.
Yeah, you say so.
And Jason Castro probably thinking, you called it on me. There's Thatch. Altuve's there, and that'll do it. A couple of ground ball outs, a fly ball out, but in between, a home run by Brandon Geyer. 3-1 Rays. When George Springer robbed Leonis Martin of a walk-off grand slam in the 10th inning, and then Hank Conger went on to hit a 2-run game-winning home run in that one, the 14th inning, as the Astros beat the Rangers. The Stros would go on to win 10 of their last 11 road games in the month of April. Yeah, Hank was the big man that day after George Springer enabled the possibility.
Good stuff. Some good first half highlights for the Astros.
That was really the first week of the season, as I recall it, right on up to Arlington to start the road trips. And now Hank Marwin Gonzalez has grabbed a bat. He will bat for Jason Castro to start the 8th inning. Jake Marisnick follows.
Yeah, big left-hander McGee out there. Give Marwin a chance. Swinging the bat good, right-handed.
Well, he's been swinging it well both ways.
That tells you that Conger will be in the game to catch next inning also. Unless Marwin dazzles us and throws the gear on.
I don't see that happening, but I'd love to see him get something started here with the bat.
Marwin's a smart guy. He'll stay away from the gear.
Better be.
No offense.
You see, there are certain things you say I believe and certain that I don't, and that last part I don't believe one bit. 0-2 the count. I think you've got a game plan. You stick to it.
I do.
How about that? 54 runs for Colin McHugh in the wins, the 9 wins, and 3 runs in the 4 losses.
It's quite a bit.
Popped up. First baseman Loney calling. He's on the infield turf and makes the play. And the Rays getting ready in the bullpen. And now the skip going out. So that's going to do it for McGee. With Jake Marisnick coming to the plate, the Rays go to the bullpen, bring in a right-hander in a 3-1 lead.
Rangers in a 3-game series July 17th or the 19th. Friday, July 17th, 10,000 fans will receive a replica silver boot presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. For tickets, call 1-877-9-ASTROS or visit astros.com. Jed Lowry, still on this road trip, is coming back from that right thumb surgery and took a big step today. He did some soft toss on the field, so that was the next progression for him, guys, from both sides of the plate, too. He'll do some things tomorrow and then head to Kissimmee. Live batting practice would be the next progression, and that's coming up soon. So he's still not there yet, but getting closer.
Hey, Conger leads off. Thanks, Julia, and fouls the first pitch. I say leads off with 1 out. Pinch hitting as he takes over for Jake Marisnick here. No doubt Conger comes on to catch.
It's good news about Jed swinging a bat. That's a great sign.
How long does a guy after a hand wrist injury, thumb in this case, have to swing the bat before actually playing in a game? You got an idea?
Got me. I don't know. I've been fortunate enough to avoid the hand injuries, but I know that a lot of it has to do with confidence. If you're taking a swing and on impact you're not feeling any pain, I've got to believe that's a good sign.
Xavier Cedeno, left-hander, is loosening in the pen for Tampa Bay. We're 1 out here in the bottom, or the top of the 8th inning. 3-1 Tampa Bay. That Conger is turning into a pretty dangerous hitter from both sides of the plate.
He's been putting together some good at-bats. getting a little more playing time here in recent days. Bomb yesterday in Cleveland to right center field.
It's a ground ball to second. Forsythe with the play. There's 2 down in the 8th. And back to the top with Jose Altuve. This offense has got to break out of it at some point. Question is, when does that happen? Not bad numbers for Jepsen.
Fastball, curveball, changeup. He throws hard. 94-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yes, he does. Jepsen came up with the Angels back in 2008. Pitched with the Halos through last year. And in fact, pitched in 74 games for the Angels last year. Slider grounded. And by Gary Pettis. Man knows his limitations. And now Brad Boxberger, the right-hander, the closer, getting it loose for Tampa Bay. No doubt setting his sights on the 9th inning. Here's a number for you on Jepsen. He's 14-23 lifetime.
A lot of decisions out of that bullpen.
A lot of decisions, and as guys who pitch late in ball games, especially when you're tied or leading, you pick up some losses. Here's Boxberger. Altuve stays alive at 1-2. Tomorrow afternoon, it's a 4:10 game time. Dallas Keuchel goes against Jake Odorizzi. And then the Sunday game, 1:10 start. Lance McCullers against Matt Moore. At that point, you're talking all-star break for 4 days. Bring some victories with you. 2-2 the count. Fly ball right center field. Kiermaier gets there. And that'll do it for the Stros. A 1-2-3 8th. Rays on top 3-1.
bottom of the 8th inning. We've got a pitching performance. It's going to be powered by Kubota. Colin McHugh did a great job. There's nothing you can say other than that. He did a great job locating his fastball early on, getting ahead of these Tampa Bay Ray hitters, working both sides of the corners. Had a really good cut or slider, if you want to call it. Also had a good breaking ball, but just did a fantastic job of setting up these Rays hitters. Pitched 7 innings, only gave up 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, and 6 strikeouts.
You know, he's had some other games this year where he's obviously pitched really well. Statistically, maybe better nights. I'm not sure he had better stuff other nights this year.
Real good. Vintage.
Joe Thatcher on to work it. And changes. Alex Presley is now defensively in left field. Colby Rasmus moves to center. Three infielders on the left side. Chad Qualls is getting loose in the Astros pen down the left side. Brad Boxberger is still up and occasionally throwing for Tampa Bay, getting ready for the bottom of the 9th, or rather the top of the 9th inning. Rene Rivera at the plate, a 1-2 count. It was Rivera who got it going in the 6th inning. Leading off, had a base hit to get it started. John Jaso doubled down the right field side, and that set up the 2-run inning that put the Rays on top 2-1. They added 1 more on a home run by Brandon Guyer, and there's the 3-1 lead. Carter under finally and makes the play. Out number 1 here in the 8th. John Jaso is the hitter on deck. Guy who recently broke up a no-no in the 9th inning. What's his first name? Butler.
Joey
Butler, yeah. Jaso's 1 for 3, had a double, scored a run. Might Chad Qualls be summoned to pitch to a right-hand batter here in the inning, or is he getting ready for a possible 9th?
Never know. Sneak him in there. Having Butler go up there might force A.J. Hinch's hand to go out there and get the right-hander.
Thatcher missing badly on a couple of pitches here. It's 3-1. And now 3-2 on Jaso. Jaso's enjoying things as he looks at the board, hitting .533. .579 on base percentage. You could live with those numbers, I think. One of the most unusual batting stances in the game. Draws the walk. It comes with 1 out. And now we'll see how this all plays out. Joey Butler will come to the plate. He's the pinch hitter for David DeJesus. That brings out A.J. Hinch, as no doubt he will counter going to the bullpen and bring in Chad Qualls. His first outing now since being on the DL. So that's the move. Rays lead at 3-1. We're in the 8th inning and the gears are turning now on both sides. Presented by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare right now at southwest.com. And by Jack in the Box. Try the new Double Jack today, only at Jack in the Box. Can't see how crooked the roof is right now. Inside, though, it's 3-1 Rays on top of the Astros. Chad Qualls on to work it. He'll face Joey Butler, the pinch hitter. Man at first base, 1 out. Evan Longoria waits on deck.
Welcome back, Chad Qualls.
Ground ball back to the mound. Qualls gets 1. Altuve back to Carter. They get the double play. 1 pitch, 2 outs. As Qualls comes on, that ends the 8th inning. We go to the 9th. 3-1 Rays lead it. Breaks down all the action from today's game, plus interviews from the clubhouse and much more on the Astros postgame show that's presented by Houston Methodist. A new left fielder. That is Joey Butler, the pinch hitter, who on 1 pitch got it into the double play. There's Mr. Butler. Here in the 9th inning for the Astros, trying to get back in this thing. It's Preston Tucker leading off, followed by Carlos Correa and Luis Valbuena. You can't make it a better spot, really, 2, 3, 4, unless you want to add Altuve. But it's the closer, Brad Boxberger.
"20 saves, 22 opportunities, fastball, changeup, and a curveball."
Spots the heater nicely. Preston Tucker's 1 for 3 tonight. Involved in a close play at second base that, after a review, wound up being a double play. Again, the shift on despite Tucker shooting one through the left side with that base hit in the 6th. Changeup, and it's 2-1. Astros know they need a base runner. They also need a big swing.
They've got those. It'd just be nice to have some guys on base when it happens.
It's a big swing that comes up empty. Two and two the count. Guy's really getting a chance to mature as a ball player through what you really can't call a pennant race yet, but I'm sure it feels that way for the Astros players. Off speed, got him looking. Tucker down on strikes to start the 9th inning.
Pretty filthy changeup, even though it's elevated a little bit on that inside corner, but see that last little bit of bite keeps him off balance. And you're looking at a fastball at 94 miles an hour, comes that inside corner. Your first reaction is to have that front side open up in order to turn on it. And by the time you realize a couple miles an hour have been taken off it, tough to pull the trigger.
One out for Carlos Correa. Is it me, or have there been a lot of pitches in great spots from pitchers tonight?
No, there have.
Oh, 2. Correa's 0 for 3. He's grounded out, struck out, and grounded into a double play. Boy, right on the edges.
Well, even the mistakes are good pitches on the edges.
Pops it up. Second baseman Forsythe called off by Geyer, the right fielder, and there's the second out. And now the Astros down to 1 out. Luis Valbuena comes to the plate.
It is some rough going right now for Houston Astros hitters.
Luis Valbuena 1 for 3, had a double in the 7th. That came leading off. The Astros were down a run. Looked like exactly what the doctor ordered, but he was stranded there in that inning. Gaddis, Rasmussen, Carter unable to move him. That changeup is spotted. Rays fans coming to their feet. Valbuena gets timeout. Dallas Keuchel tomorrow against Jake Odorizzi. Sunday, Lance McCullers against Matt Moore. That's going to send Rivera to the mound. What do you think's being said right there?
It's a good question.
Have anything to do with
He's
the
got
guy?
good stuff. He's got 2 outs and a strike on this batter here in the bottom of the 9th. I mean, top of the 9th. Just straighten out the game plan against Luis Valbuena.
Wow. Well, location can mean a lot toward closing out games. 20 saves for Boxberger, and if he's doing it with pitches like this, what we're seeing in the 9th inning, no wonder.
It's unhittable.
Got him on the heat. 94 blown by. A couple of strikeouts in the 9th inning, and the Astros suffer defeat once again as game 1 of this 3-game series goes to the Rays.